Hello Virgo, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your connection to the person that you are dealing with and needing to learn the most from right now. We're looking at all three sides of the connection, so we've got your energy toward it, their energy toward it, and the energy in between it, the concept being that there are three sides to every story. So we're looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and this higher level unbiased truth in the middle. This middle section is looking at what is the deeper purpose of the connection and the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self. As I do in all of my readings, I pulled the overall energy and clarified those messages, as well as the overall theme for the reading, which we'll jump into in just a second. But I still have a different tarot deck I'll be pulling from for each side of this connection, as well as the advice deck that I'll be using to close out the reading in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or coaching session with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. On that note, the whole reading can be reversed. If that is the case for you, that's totally fine and totally normal. Again, the point is to take what helps and leave what doesn't. All right, Virgo, let's jump on in. This is kind of interesting. I want you to bear with me a little bit because I feel like a lot of the pieces of this are going to be put together when we pull tarot, which is typically how it goes, but this one seems a little bit more vague overall energy. So on your side of this connection, you have growth with the Hierophant. I feel like you have recently experienced a lot of growth. This Hierophant feels a little bit like a warning. Not in like a bad way, but it just feels like through this like message, it's almost as if Spirit is saying, go into this with like both eyes wide open. Like on this card, the reason I see that, I feel that way, is when I pulled it before I started the reading, but also just looking at it now, it's like I'm so drawn to the Hierophant's eyes. And you know, the Hierophant is about wisdom and a greater perspective, and it feels like it's really like cautioning you almost. And that's why I said bear with me, because I feel like there's so much more to this that I'm not able to get from just these two cards. Now, this person has reciprocity with the Six of Wands in reverse. Now, I feel like this person is trying to reciprocate. However, with the Six of Wands in reverse, it's, I have dog hair all over me all the time. The Six of Wands in reverse is, to me, like this, specifically in this message, there's so many meanings to all the cards. So when I talk about one meaning, I'm not just saying that's the only meaning, but it's desiring success, but going about it the wrong way, almost like misguided attempts. So I feel like this person is like trying to reciprocate, but almost isn't going about it the right way. Like I don't know exactly, again, what that's about, but the overall theme of the reading is pay attention to the red flags. And then I just saw this, you have the signs are cautioning you. So I don't know what this is about, but hopefully we can provide clarity as we keep going. In between this connection, you have ego with the Death. So this, to me, I mean, it could literally be ego death, right? So that could be something, but what I first see this as is, and I talk about this a lot, how our ego prefers old cycles. It prefers old dynamics. It prefers what it is that is predictable and that we're used to. And to the extent that our ego actually prefers the lack of love, abundant success, but specifically just because we're talking about love in this reading, the lack of love that we desire, and actually prefers the lack of love that we desire, and is actually afraid of or resists the love that we truly want, the love that we truly deserve. And the reason for this is it likes predictability. So when we're stuck in painful cycles with one person, or with you know, maybe a cycle that keeps repeating throughout different relationships, that's because a part of us, whether or not we're aware of it, is actually looking for that same situation because it knows exactly how that's going to go, exactly what it's going to feel like, exactly what it's going to look like, exactly how it's going to end. So we often actually attract old cycles. And we have to learn how to recognize those so we can fully close out old cycles in relationships specifically, so we can attract the people that are meant for us instead of the people that align with what we're used to, especially if you haven't experienced the love that you're truly looking for. So I feel like that's why you're being asked to go to face this connection with eyes wide open. Is it's almost like the universe is asking you to wake up to, like, or maybe, I don't know, wake up's so aggressive, but to see things from like a bigger perspective. Because I feel like you've gone through a lot of growth, so it's almost like taking that growth and applying it in a way. But I don't know, that sounds really confusing. Okay, I'm just gonna jump into tarot and we're just gonna see. It says Virgo side of this connection, growth with the Hierophant. This is Virgo's side of the connection to the person they are dealing with. Could be dealing with a fire sign. Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, but you absolutely don't have to be, because I feel like this is also different message. And then you have this Eight of Swords. Oh gosh, but then you also have the King of Pentacles and King of Swords right here. Well, I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm going to focus on this message really quick before I get ahead of myself. Okay. The Magician in reverse is really about like doubting your power. And I promise that I'll tie this all together. Doubting your power, doubting what's possible for you, like basically doubting your ability to co-create the life that you deserve. And this Eight of Swords is definitely a reflection of like limiting beliefs. You know, our life is a reflection of what we believe is possible and believe that we're deserving of. So if we're not living the life that we desire or experiencing the relationships that we desire, it's because a part of us doesn't think that that's possible. So we accept less than what it is that we're looking for, and we try to change it or force it to be something better. And this happens a lot in relationships because we tend to approach our relationships from a lack mentality, and we say, I got to take what I can get. Got to make this work. You know, I'll try to make it into something better. And I feel like this connection, it's like, I feel like there are certain aspects of it that very much align with what you're looking for. But then I feel like the way that this person shows up leaves a lot to be desired. Like, it's like, there are some things about it where you're like, yeah, this is good. But then there are other things where you're like, this just isn't what I'm looking for, or this isn't what I need. But then I feel like you almost push that away in a way, because it's like you justify it. You're like, but, you know, they're good in these ways, and they're trying, and they've been through a lot, and things like that. And again, it's important to have empathy. I talk about this a lot. It's important to have empathy. But you want to make sure you're not dipping into the realm of toxic empathy, where you have more empathy for somebody else and where they're at, what they're going through, that you lack empathy for yourself. Because if you're not getting what you need, which I don't feel like you are, then you have to be honest with yourself about that. But I feel like there's a part of you that thinks that this is good as it can get. So it's like you justify almost the lack. Which is interesting because that's why it's like, go into this with both eyes wide open. I don't know. Okay, I think there's more to it. So bear with me, because again, I feel like I'm putting together the pieces of a puzzle, trying to understand what the story is here. Okay, this is for Virgo's side of the connection to the person they are dealing with. Okay, that didn't come all the way out. I want it to come all the way out or turn over. Jeez, these cards are being so freaking... And then there's the King of Cups. We've now seen every King card. Sun in reverse. Right? Yeah, no, it's definitely reverse. Obviously, you could be dealing with a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, but there's this energy of not... Okay, I want to know... I want to know what's going on, because there's this energy of not being happy in this connection. Not that you weren't ever happy, or that you don't see, like, it's like maybe this connection in the beginning was really good, or you've had this potential, you've seen this potential in it, but currently right now I feel like you're not happy with where things are at. You're not happy with the way things are here. Sun in reverse. Yeah, there's a lot of frustration. Oh, see, because you're waiting for a new beginning. You're waiting for things to either go back to how they were or become something more. But okay. You're never asking for too much. When you're being asked to be loved well, treated well, reciprocated, but sometimes you might be asking the wrong people. Because it kind of feels like you're waiting on this person to change. You're waiting on them to change. You're waiting on them to be someone different than they have currently shown you they are. And there's a part of you that goes, oh, well, when that happens, like, then this will be good. Then we'll be happy. Like, then this will work. But in the meantime, you're accepting so much less than what it is that you need because you think you have to, in a way. Now, this is like a consistent thing. This is like, I feel like this person is consistently not showing up in the way that you need, or I don't know. It's like, well, you know what? I'll figure more of that out when we get to their energy. Oh, I wanted to take this one instead of the Sun in reverse. Because right now, as things are, you're not where you want to be. Virgo's side of this connection. Want the card to turn all the way around or hit the table like that. Oh my gosh. The Tower in reverse, but then there's the Hierophant. You don't want to see things as they are. You don't want to see... Wait, okay, hang on. There's something you don't want me to see, Virgo. Because you don't want to see it for yourself. There's something you don't want me to see because you don't want to see it for yourself. The Knight of Cups in reverse and the Nine of Cups. Okay. I know what it is. Because we talked about this reciprocity with the Six of Wands in reverse, and how this person's... There's a lot of red flags popping up here. And how this person is approaching this. And I feel like what you're, I don't think I'm going to make a lot of people happy with this, but what you're desiring from this connection and what this person is like capable of emotionally, or like just where they're at, like on their journey, it's almost as if you're looking for them to be more than they are capable of being right now. And, you know, people can only meet you where they're at today. And there's no guarantee that they're going to grow, that they're going to evolve, that anything is going to improve. And the universe provides exactly as we affirm. And when we spend our time accepting less than what we desire and less than what we deserve, waiting for things to be what we desire and deserve, we're actually saying, I'm okay with less, which actually attracts less. We think it's waiting for more, but it's actually attracting less. So I feel like what you don't want to see, or maybe what you aren't wanting to be totally honest with yourself about, which I get it, but is really asking the question, is this person capable of being what I need? Is this person capable of loving me in the way that I deserve? Is this person capable of loving me in the way that I desire? Or am I holding out for potential? Am I investing in this for what it could be? If this person changed, if they healed, if they grew. Because when we invest in something for potential, we're investing in something that doesn't exist. Now that potential that you're looking for, that can exist. But we can't attract it when we're investing in the wrong people. Now, I'm not saying this is the wrong person, and I'm not just flat out saying, like, this connection's screwed, but I know there's something you're not wanting to admit to yourself. And I feel like it comes down to, is this person capable of being what I need? Or do I think this is as good as it gets? Or do I think that nothing better will ever come along? This has to work, because if this doesn't work, it's never going to be as good as it could be. I see this a lot with people who label somebody as their twin flame. They think, well, this is my twin flame. It has to be them. They have to choose me. They have to love me, because if it's not them, I'm going to have to settle, or I'm going to be alone forever. It'll never be as good as it could be if it's with this person. And what that does is that keeps us trapped in the experience of not having what it is that we deserve and desire, because we continue to accept less than what we deserve and desire, because we're placing the other person on this pedestal. And we're saying this person is more important than I am. Their needs are more important than mine. Their desires are more important than mine. Their healing is more important than mine. I have empathy for them, and I love them, but I lack empathy and love for myself. And when we do that, we create this imbalance in a relationship, which basically says, you are the priority and I am the option. And that's not what you deserve. But I get it. I do. I get it. I get why, because I do feel like you have really strong feelings for this person, like in terms of what this could be. But I feel like this is the universe asking you to view this from the perspective of, are you stuck in a cycle? Are you waiting for things to change without making change yourself and stuck in the same experience over and over again? I hope I didn't make too many people mad, because I know that this stuff isn't always fun to see. I mean, obviously you didn't want me to see it, or you didn't want to admit it. But it's also always going to lead you to better when you go into things, when you see things through the lens of eyes wide open, when you see things through the lens of truth, and you honestly say, is this person capable? And what I mean by that is, like, you might be like, yeah, they're capable if they would get their act together, or if they would do this, or if they would do that. But without the ifs, ands, or buts, where they're at today, how they consistently show up, whether it's right or not, is that okay with you? Is that what you need? I don't know. I think that there's always that, those connections where it's like, well, are you, well, this person is going through a lot right now. Like they have all these issues, and they usually prioritize me in the connection, but they're just not able to right now. 'Cause that's not what I'm talking about. Okay. I'm not talking about like this one-off situation where, yes, 50-50 relationships are not always going to be 50-50. It should balance out to 50-50. But the relationship itself is not always going to be 50-50. You know, sometimes you're going to show up with 50, they'll show up with 50, sure. But then there'll be, you have 70, they have 30. You have 20, they come in there and they swoop in and they show up with the 80. But this feels like a relationship where you're constantly showing up with the 70, 80, 90 and barely even getting the 10, 20, 30. Like, there's an imbalance here of you not getting what you need consistently. This isn't, like I said, just a one-time situation. Okay, so let me see. This person's energy toward Virgo, reciprocity with the 6 of Wands in reverse. I always hate when these readings are so truthful because I feel like I never want to make people mad. All right, this person's energy toward Virgo. What does Virgo need to know about this person's energy toward them? Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Oh, wait, what's that about? Not ready. Not ready for you. Oh my gosh. Literally, Ace of Pentacles in reverse with the Empress. It's like they're not ready for you. Like haven't, not at the, I want to say like not on your level. But I don't want that to make it sound like I'm saying like, oh, you're better than them. Because even though we might be further along on our growth and healing journey than someone else, that doesn't make you more valuable. It doesn't make you better than them. It just means that there's this lack of compatibility energetically. Because it's basically saying where they're at does not match what you need. And I feel like that's what this is. Because the Ace of Pentacles in reverse is an opportunity that hasn't manifested because they're not ready for it. And then this Empress, which I feel like is absolutely your energy. It's like they're not ready to or like capable. Of being what it is that you are looking for. Which is one of the things, literally the 9 of Cups, remember? Are they capable of being what you desire? What you're looking for? And then you had the Knight of Cups in reverse with that message too. Because I feel like it's a very triggering truth. Because that's hard. You know, I've certainly experienced situations in my life where, you know, I love someone, and this has happened in friendships, in romantic relationships, and in familial relationships. Like, I could think of an example for all of them, where I love and care about someone, but that person isn't capable of having the kind of relationship that I need in order to feel loved and valued. Specifically, when you're kind of dealing with people that aren't taking accountability, like aren't growing, aren't showing up, you know, to do better, that can be very challenging because you're like, well, I need more than what you're providing right now, but you're not willing to do what's necessary to be what it is that I need. And a lot of times we can then turn that around on us and go, well, this must mean that, you know, since this person isn't changing, they must not be changing because I'm not good enough, you know, for them, or they don't see my value enough to make these changes. It has nothing to do with you. But it literally feels like they are not at a point on their journey to be able to be what it is that you need, which is what you weren't wanting to be honest with yourself about in the first place. But that also doesn't mean that you can't have what you need. You know, it's not just up to them. Even if you've labeled them as a twin flame, that doesn't mean that, you know, the purpose of a twin flame connection isn't romantic union. It's union of self. It's not about the other person loving you, choosing you, valuing you. It's about you loving you, choosing you, and valuing you. And understanding that that's always going to lead you to the connections that do. So, but there's a cycle here that you're stuck in with this person or with people that are similar to them. This person's energy toward Virgo. What does Virgo need to know? 3 of Pentacles, 7 of Wands. They're very stubborn. Stubborn, but like... Well, hang on. Let me clarify this 3 of Pentacles. the Death in reverse. So this is like refusal to change. The Ten of Cups, but then the Chariot in reverse. So that's what's so confusing for you and for me as a reader looking at the energy, is it's like they do desire what this connection could be. The potential, like I feel like you both see that. But it feels like they have this refusal to change, to do what's necessary to reach that goal, that desire. Because a healthy reciprocal relationship takes two people showing up with a mutual understanding that the best thing that they can do for the other person is work on themselves. To grow, to heal, to evolve. But if someone's not willing to do that, but they desire a healthy relationship, well, it's like, I always say that's kind of like trying to run a marathon without doing any training. Like you're going to show up a marathon day and you're going to fail miserably because you haven't done any of the work, you haven't done any of the training, you haven't put any of the the work in to get to where you need to be to succeed. And so that's what it's like. They want it, but they're going about it the wrong way. And what I mean by that is it's almost like they're running from the work that is necessary to be able to be in the healthy connection. So you're like, well, I see this potential. They see it too. And that's true. But it's almost as if there's this energy of, but I'm not willing to change. But them changing would be necessary for the connection to work. And that's where you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, because you're like, well, I need more. And they're like, well, I'm not willing to do what's necessary to be able to give more. So, I don't know. I feel like, one of the best things I've ever learned, or I finally learned, is to take people as they are. Let people show you who they are and decide whether or not that is enough for you. And it's really hard because when we love and care about someone, like, of course we're going to see their potential, because of course we're going to want not only what's best for us in that situation, but what's best for them too. We want to love them. We want to be there for them. We want to, but we can't love somebody into doing the work. We can't love someone into change. You can't make other people change. You can't make them change by guilting them into it, loving them into it, or supporting them into it. You can be there to support them while they make the decision to change, absolutely. But if someone isn't making the decision to change and you are receiving the negative repercussions of that, then at some point you have to make sure that you are not overvaluing them and undervaluing you, which is really easy to do when you love someone. All right, this person's energy toward Virgo. What does Virgo need to know about this person's energy toward them? It's like there's the Five of Wands. They have this inner battle going on. The Emperor in reverse. They struggle with control. It's like, let me clarify. Yeah, there's the Ten of Cups. It's like they want it, but they're resisting it at the same time. Oh my gosh, that makes sense. I started out with this in between. I said, your ego prefers the lack of love that you're used to. And your ego will always want to stay in situations that are familiar, right? If this person is more familiar with the lack of Ten of Cups, even though they desire it, they're going to push it away. Especially if they haven't done the work to break that cycle for themselves, which is keeping you stuck in your own. So they're in this cycle of running from love, right? You're in your own individual cycle of chasing it and someone who's running from it, which is, of course, making things way complicated, because then your ego's stuck in the cycle of the lack of love that you're used to, but you're holding out for what this could be if this person did change. But that's why Spirit's saying go into this with eyes wide open. Because if you're asking for your needs to be met, if you're asking for what it is you desire and you're not getting it consistently, that's a sign. Okay, in between this connection, you have ego with the death. You know, these types of connections that keep us stuck in cycles typically have a very spiritual purpose, which means that I want to make it very clear that all these things that I talk about, there's going to be so much more complexity to your situation, but sometimes we have to zoom out and we have to simplify and we have to say, yeah, there's this complexity of this, that, and the other thing, but like big picture, what's going on? I'm needing more. This person continues not to provide it. I need to make a decision that aligns with what's best for me. But anyway, we're going to hop on over to the extended. I'm going to dive into the deeper purpose of the connection, the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self. And then I have an advice card to pull at the very end. Thank you so much, Virgo, as always, for your support of my channel. I do hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, Virgo, I wish you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things that you deserve on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Virgo.